Thank you so much for joining us today, all the way from Limpopo. I'm so excited to be having this conversation with you today. Can you tell us a bit about yourselves, who you are, and what your organization's all about?
Okay. Evening, and also thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
As well, definitely it's a privilege. My name is Phakamise Ngopane. I work for Lima Rural Development Foundation. I'm working as a zone manager. And of course, I'm someone who has been with the organization since 2012. So I should say I spend a lot of parts of my decade working for this organization. So Phakamise is someone who grew up in rural areas as well, so I've got a strong background from the rural areas. So, but I'm working in Bochum, doing a multiple project, and also one of them it's whereby we do a small farmer support program whereby we're supporting the farmers. And so I'm responsible for two sites. It's not only work in Limpopo, but there's also Messina as well.
Wonderful. And I see that you're not alone. We are so excited to have you as well as a guest today. Can you tell us a bit about yourself as well?
Evening, my name is Mukhobu Matumi Cynthia, mostly known as Matumi, the farm girl. I'm also from Limpopo in Bochum. Yeah, that's where I reside, and I farm there as well.
Wow, wonderful. I really just want to get into what motivated you to get into supporting rural development and small farm holders.
Yeah, I think it's all started as a child. Hey, I don't even know where to start. But so basically, I think as someone who grew up in rural areas, and also I had someone that I look up to. That's my grandfather, who was involved in farming. And was having a lot of livestock, I should say. And so from that age, I think I was someone, although I was also given an opportunity to go to school, and will definitely understand the issues around in rural areas where if you're a boy, you have to look after the livestock, and also some you don't get an opportunity to go to school. But I think I was privileged enough that my grandfather and my parents could balance those. And so I had a balance of going to school and also looking after the cattle. And so just to fast forward, I think also when I get to a stage where I had to go to do my tertiary levels, and then I didn't doubt that I should go for agriculture.
Yeah.
And then it's where I started doing agriculture. And also I can remember some of the days during the holidays that whenever I think I was doing my second year, and then there will be a time where I need to do a lot of agricultural activities. Of course, bringing my experience that I regained from the school. I think from there I never looked back. And also it's when I realized, and also I felt like at one point, because if you grew up in rural areas whereby you don't have all those handling facilities for livestock, and then you definitely rely from the guys from the villages to come and help you whenever you wanna do on a cattle, whereby you wanna do the branding, you wanna do the castration. So I think so I become well known as someone that was doing agriculture and also can help. And then I think they just see me as umlimi, if I can use the word. And then it's when I realized that, look, I've got a dream, and then I've got a lot on my shoulder to assist on community development.
Yeah, wonderful. And I think, we all know we are living in a context where resources can be very scarce. A lot of challenges can be faced by farm owners and even in the agricultural space as a whole. But how have you continued to promote transformative growth in your industry, even with those challenges, and how do you overcome them?
Yeah, no, I think definitely you mentioned farming, it's about challenges, and also, but it's also about overcoming them. I think also just to mention the few. I think firstly, one of the challenges that our farmers are currently facing at this point, it's also the access to the funding, that they don't get it on time. If you're a black child, and also the background is different. So one of the challenges, I would say that's the first challenge that they are facing, access to funding in order to buy their own implements.
Right.
Agricultural implements are very expensive. It's not only about the tractor, there's quite a lot.
Yeah.
And also it's difficult for the black farmers to access those. And also another thing that I will also mention as well is a production input, because having a production input, which means you also have to time your planting. And also, second one, I think also one of the other challenges that we're facing, and this one might not come up as a challenge, as a stumbling block for the farmers, but I think it's also something that is good to share. It's the issue of the grant that we're issuing on the farmers. It's a good thing, but it's also got some other disadvantages as well, because I see it as how I wish that farmers, yes, they should be accessible, they are eligible to get the grant, but sometimes it tends to grow out of proportion because someone doesn't claim the ownership, and also someone becomes more dependent, of which is something that we also try and avoid in agriculture, for a farmer becoming more dependency on the funder, on Lima, on the Department of Agriculture, just to mention the few. So, and also I think the third challenge will be as well is the issue of the politics. It's something that you cannot run away from. That we're living in the society where there's got some politics, we've got some ward councillors, we've got some traditional authorities that they feel like we should be helping a certain village, or helping a certain individual, and also the conflict among themselves as well. And also I think it's also hindering the growth of the farmers. But I think in order for us to overcome, it's something that is a process that you cannot just overdo. But Lima, because we believe a lot on training and also providing an encouragement on farmers, and also as an organization that is full-time on the ground. We are not an organization that we're going to be implementing a project for 3 months and then we go. We always make sure that the project that we're implementing will stay the longest time. I think the program that we're also running now, we're on a 3 years and then it's a 5 years contract. So you could understand the impact, and also, so the best way is to train these farmers, because that component has been proven that it's working, whereby you train the farmers and also they understand that farming, you have to run it as a business, and also you don't have to rely on the grant, and also, but you rather get to be assisted to get an access and prepare to apply for a soft loan, for example. So I see it that way.
Yeah, that's incredible. And, as Lima, one of the incredible things you're doing is partnering with organizations like De Beers to encourage farmers out there. You're saying you really want to address that issue of resources that might not be available to all farmers out there. And I'm so excited that we are joined by one of the beneficiaries, Cynthia. But before we just get to Cynthia, can you tell us a little bit about how is that partnership? How did it come about? And then you can tell us how Cynthia has also benefited from that incredible program.
Look, I think as Lima, because we're a well-known organization that specializes with small farmer support program, so we've implemented multiple projects across the country and also outside the country as well. So I think I can remember that, I think back in 2018, we had the opportunity as well where we are doing some other project that was funded by Senvic and Total. And then I think that's the organization as well that was having a relationship with the mine, DPS, and then Anglo. And so definitely the mine is not going to be always there forever. So they are also looking at some of the things that they can power their communities, and also making sure that they are giving back. And also whenever there will be a time whereby the mine is no longer there, there might be some activities. So as a Lima, we're given an opportunity to engage with them and see how we can possibly help in terms of developing those areas that is in Musina and the Blowback, because it's also one of the areas that is the mine has got so much interest on, because it's within their labor sending areas. That's the relationship come about. And also we are fortunate enough to get this contract from DPS, and then we privilege, and then we had the opportunity to work with the amazing farmers, I must say, because most of the areas that I've been working on in across the country, I've been in several provinces, 5 of them to mention the few. But I think also Blowback and Limpopo has been special, because I'm dealing with the high-level farmers, I should say, compared to what the farmers that I've met.
So Cynthia, can you tell us a little bit about how this program has been for you, how you've benefited, and how it's really impacted you in this industry?
Thank you for this opportunity. To tell you a little bit more about myself, I started at backyard when I started farming, and then I moved to the farm on a 2.5 hectare. So from 2018 up until DBS Mine and Lima funded me, I was farming only on 2.5 hectares. And then from a farmer who started at backyard, you can imagine scaling up will be like
Amazing, yeah.
so it will take a long time for me. It might even take a third or fifth generation farmer to get to the point where Lima and DBS took me now. Like, so I was on a 2.5 hectare, and then they helped me a lot. They moved me from 1 step to a 10 steps. So that for me was a great opportunity for me to grow in just a short period of time.
Yeah.
So their help really helped me. And then I think funding for young black farmers, we really need funding, honestly, especially if you are a first generation farmer. It will be very difficult for you to scale up, as Spa mentioned that agricultural implements are very expensive.
Yeah.
So imagine if you are planting on a 2.5 hectares, for you to buy your own tractor is something else, because the crops that you are planting won't even make the money for you to afford a tractor or any other implement, because it's so little. Yeah.
And with all those challenges you are facing, how are you managing, and how many people at the moment do you even have, that are assisting you and helping you build this empire, basically, because this is an empire that you're building?
I will say I was very fortunate to get the support structure from my family, because when you start, obviously you don't have money to pay people.
Correct.
So my mom, my dad, and my brother were there with me.
Wow.
When I wake up in the morning, they wake up with me, so we go to the farm together. So now they helped me to scale up to a point that now the work is too much, and then we need to hire more people.
Yeah.
So especially with potato, I'm doing potato. So potato is a crop whereby when you harvest, you will need a lot of people. So we hired, like last year alone, with the DBS and Lima funding, we planted 6 hectares of potatoes. So during the harvest season, we hired 116 people from the village. So funding and growth plays a huge role in community employment. And then
I love that you're mentioning you were able to employ all those hundreds of people from the community. And I think going back to you, Spa, as well, how does that personal relationship you build within the community actually impact the work you do at Lima? Because you could go somewhere else to be hiring people. You could have decided to look at a different avenue, but you'd said, I'm going to get people within my community. So this project is not just for you, but for those that are around you as well. So can you tell us a bit about those personal connections you build as well?
It's definitely it's a good one.
Yeah.
And also I think it always makes my heart melt.
Oh, yes.
And because I think first of all, I'm the guy with principles. And also the background that I have, judging that I'm coming from rural areas myself. And I understand the suffer that we have, because not all of us has got the opportunity to go to school. But I think the one that we've had the privilege to go to school, and also it's also our responsibility to make sure that we assist the one that needs help. So I think as a Lima, because Lima is an organization that is also promoting dignity, sustainability, and also transformative growth. So of which it also speaks to me. It's one of my principles. So I think it's also makes me happy if we're gonna see that the farmer that we're helping is also giving it back. And also Lima, not Lima as a whole, but I always say I don't want to get any recognition personally, and also Lima rather get the recognition of the farmer, Cynthia, not me, because I think at the end of the day, it's not always about me. But for me, whatever that I'm doing, I think I'm happy if it's being recognized, and also it's paying back to the community, of which at this point in time, I look, if a young lady like Cynthia, we're talking about someone who's very young, and I'm not trying to expose her age. My apology for that. But if someone as young as Cynthia, and was farming in a 2.5 hectare, and then within a short space of time, and now it's got about 19 hectares, and also she can proudly say I've employed around 116 people from my village. It definitely it means a lot. I think it's I don't have any words to explain that. But I think the connection, and also maybe that whatever that we're trying to achieve with the farmers, with the community that we're working on, it's really paying off.
Absolutely. And, as much as you don't want to take all the credit, I do hope that you take a moment sometimes to just pat yourself on the back because it's an incredible thing you're doing. It's all part of community development and impacting the country as a whole as well. Can you tell us a bit more as well about some of the projects you are running currently? Okay. How are they impacting the farmers' lives? What are you up to at Lima at the moment?
Okay. Yes, it's a bit that I also had a chat with the colleague outside about that. And look, we, as Lima, like I've said, I'm managing multiple projects. Just to mention, we've got one project number one, Small Farmer Support Program. That is we conducted, which is funded by TPS. This is the program that is more concentrating on uplifting the farmers, whereby we assist them with their marketing, mechanization, input linkages, trainings, and also credit facility as well. So this is a project that we currently implementing. Then I will classify it as a major one of the major ones.
Yes.
So this is a program that is, we've got over 1,000 farmers on our database that we're working with. So I think that can tell you that the interest that they have. But and also it's a program that we implementing in Messina and Blowback, and there is quite a lot that's happening in terms of developing these farmers, and also we make sure that the farmers they comply, and then they also doing good agricultural practice, of which this is a program that we feel like we are in that stage. I think Cynthia is also an example of that, and also the impact, and then the success stories. I think taking someone from 2.5 hectares to 19 hectares, employing over 100 people on a seasonal basis, and then it's got, I think also another thing that she forgot to mention is she's got about more than 5 permanent workers.
Wow. So she's also being humble like you. She doesn't want to tell us all the exciting things as well. Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. Yeah.
So definitely because we're doing this training, and also we make sure that farmers compliance, they have a compliance doing good agricultural practice so that they can grow and also access some funding as well.
Wow.
So we also have got another project that we called SEF project, Social Empowerment Fund project, that is funded through IDC. It's also a project that is more concentrating on the youth, because we are also an agricultural constitution, and also in constitution that we also promote the dignity as well, and also make sure that we develop. So it's also an opportunity whereby working with the matriculant, the guys that have just matriculant but they don't have any opportunity to pursue their studies. So it's also one of the program. And also again, it speaks on what I've said earlier, that whenever we're in a community, we make sure that we stay. We make sure that that certain community is fully developed. So whenever the project that we're gonna come across, we're always gonna make sure that we look them in that villages that we're acting on, because also on our side the resources is the issue. So it's always good if you implement a project in one area and you do that proper investment accordingly. So this project also is giving an opportunity whereby it's also concentrating doing health program, and also food security, because these participants are also involved on doing some homestead gardens, of which it's also helped the communities, because we cannot run away that there is a lot of poverty. And also one of the things that we're promoting as an agricultural institution is to make sure that people, they also produce veggies on their own backyards. And then of which they are doing that. And also some of these graduates as well, it's also we capacitate them for their next stage of life, their career, because they're also gonna have an opportunity to apply using this, and also this is their first work that they are doing, and also transferring of skills as well, because they are also involved in agriculture. I can tell you that we've got some participants that have started graduating, having their own farms, their own plot, even if it's a 1 hectare, but also these are the key success stories that we have to share about.
Wow, amazing. Yeah. There are so many things that are a positive outcome that help you see as, as an organization that your impact is there. What are some of the other ways that you're able to assess, your impact in the community? So you have incredible success stories like Cynthia's, you are employing people, there's so many things you've mentioned. But also when you sit as an organization and you say, okay guys, it's time for us to assess now. Okay. Are we really making an impact? What are some of the measures you put in place to assess your impact?
Look, because we are an organization, before we can work in any village or any site, there is something called the PRA. It's a participatory rural appraisal. It's also it's one of the components that we use as Lima to engage with the farmers, because remember, you cannot just pop in any village and then you say, they might say, DPS, we've got the funding for agriculture that we want to do, but as an organization, you also need to go to the village, you go to the site and have this component whereby you're going to invite all the community members and you say, look, you won't even mention that you've got the funding, but you're just going to say it's another way of getting the information. You have to know the gatekeeper, you have to know the project, the history of the area, what was happening. What are their future plans? Are they interested in doing agriculture other than investing on a wrong, because if you're going to be doing that, you're going to be setting up yourself for a failure. So it's also one of the components that we're doing at Lima, and we make sure that it works. Once we know what are the projects are being active, who are the role players, the department, the infrastructure, the resources, the natural resources that they have, it's going to be more easy for us to do the assessment and say, okay, we've been here with this, we've been this community for 3 years. But after the 3 years, have we achieved? Have we done what these people wanted? Because maybe they wanted to do more on agriculture. Have we managed to look more farmers into agriculture, or haven't done anything? But of course, there are so many tools that we're using after that we're implementing the project. One of them, we're also using database. Database is something that we use, which is not mainly for the KPIs, because if you are funded, definitely there should be KPIs involved. But database we're also using to track the progress of the farmer.
Right.
I'm always going to make a referral to Cynthia, because she's next to me. One of the database that we have, we met Cynthia when she was on 2.5 hectares, but now a year later she's on 19 hectares. And also she's doing a good agricultural practice, because I think training has proven that if you train the farmer to make sure that she's doing a good agricultural practice, is more important, because having someone who's got more knowledge, it's also going to help her to grow. Right. So because knowledge, if you've got the knowledge is power. If you've got the knowledge, you're going to be able as well to do some certain things, having doing good agricultural practice, like having compliance SARS, water licenses, and all the stuff. So definitely those things, it takes a training, and also you also have to understand the background of the farmers that you're dealing with.
Wonderful. Amazing. And you're all about collaboration. You're all about collaboration and supporting community members as well. What are some of the external organizations that you've also had to rope in to support, community members that have livestock and that are also doing incredible things in the agricultural space?
Yeah, most definitely. If you're working with the community, one of the things that you have to do as well, you need to have a good relationship with the councillor, good relationship with the traditional leaders, and also the department that are also all the role players, I should say. Right. Because you also mentioned a very important thing, livestock, of which it's also touches me, because it's the one that influenced me to do agriculture in the first place. So definitely we're an organization that's not working in silos. We're definitely working with a lot of organization, and also we looped some organization. I also to mention as well, we've got an organization that is doing a case study for livestock, that we've got a good experience, a good relationship with AGDA, to mention. So they are working on a case study for animals, livestock in the same area that we're operating on. And also we've got a strong relationship that we have with them, because there's also some hub that we're working on. So definitely we're also fortunate enough that the project that we also that we're implementing in rural areas, and whereby you're gonna having these key stakeholders, the ward council and the traditional leaders, whereby whenever they're gonna be having some allocation, they're always gonna be allocation for the livestock and also allocation for the farmers, for the crops as well. Of which is also one of the things that we're doing as a Lima, is to make sure that we bring balance by saying we encourage the crop farmers as well to do the mixed farming, because it's also one of the important tools that you use in terms of getting the balanced agriculture, and also make sure that you avoid on stepping on one's toes. So it's also one of the things that we're definitely doing. That's also to mention, it's we've got a lot of plans that we feel like we can do as a Lima. if we can also be given a platform to work on the livestock, because I think it's also a program that I've also run successfully so in Eastern Cape, whereby we've got a program whereby we're doing a lot of management on the rangeland, doing some crop rotation so that you can make sure that you restore the soil and also avoid the degradation of the soil, and also you introduce a lot of things, and getting some training for farmers to be involved in study breeds and understand why, if you were to choose a bull, a certain bull, why you have to go for a certain bull, a study breed, Bone Smarter, Brahman, and all the stuff, because it's a good thing, and also it's gonna improve their productivity and all the stuff. So it's also we also trying to make a balance whenever the farmer that we're working with, and also the department and any role player that we're working, given the platform, we always provide our best advice as well on livestock. It's not only about the crops.
Amazing. I think I just also want to say you are so passionate about this, and it's just so wonderful and incredible to see the passion, and you just light up when you really speak about what you're doing, and it's absolutely incredible to see. I think just to also come back to you, Cynthia, earlier he spoke about the fact that knowledge is power. But I think one of the most important things is when, knowledge almost becomes an inheritance, something that's generational that we pass on. So with all the knowledge and, experience you've gained, especially with this program with De Beers, is there someone that you are mentoring? Are you thinking of mentoring someone? Because I think a lot of people would benefit from knowing how to go from 2.9 hectares to what you have now. So tell us a bit about that.
I think I was very fortunate to study agriculture further. So I did a diploma in ornamental horticulture. So there are a lot of young farmers at home, or aspiring or emerging farmers. They didn't study agriculture further. They didn't even do agriculture at high school. And it's a shame now, because agriculture at high school is cancelled. Most high schools are no longer doing agriculture. So we will have a lot of people who want to do farming but have very little or no knowledge about crops. So I do a lot of mentoring. Yes, there are young farmers at home who comes at the farm to volunteer and learn. So I also help them with whatever I can help.
Yes.
So I also do online trainings. I teach aspiring farmers about how to grow crops. I think next month I will be doing a training on cabbage production.
Exciting.
So I'm more active on social media. So a lot of people see my work on social media, and then they become interested in how to grow those crops. So I'm doing a lot of mentoring and knowledge sharing.
Amazing. You are passing the knowledge on, and I think I need to come for that cabbage, that cabbage growing one. So I want to know, small farm holders can be very isolated. You spoke about how you were doing your own backyard farming, and you can be isolated from the larger scale of farming and the bigger services of agriculture. So I want to know, what is Lima doing to actually help small farm holders to break through those barriers and be part of the larger space of the agricultural community?
I think again, I will always keep on referring on training. Training, it's a very, very good and important component on agriculture, because it has to start there.
Right.
So definitely, we're not working with the semi-commercial farmers, I should say. Cynthia, are you a semi-commercial farmer?
Almost.
So we definitely, one of the things that we're also doing in terms of assisting them cracking the market, I think you mentioned market. It starts with the planning, and the planning start is not only when the farmer has got a crop. I think also you have to understand the market that you're working with. I think we've got over 30 markets that we're working it along with the farmers that are supplying. Of course, they've got some different interests, and also they prefer some different varieties when it comes to crops as well. So I think the starting point will be whenever the farmer is planning to plant, we have to make sure that we capacitate, we train the farmer in terms of what variety to go for, and also what's the market wants, because this is a very, very most important thing. You can plant a cabbage. You mentioned cabbage, but some other market whereby there are some other market that they prefer smaller cabbage. They've got their main reason. Other market prefer bigger market. For example, if you're gonna be producing for hawkers, you know that your product must be huge because it's where you're gonna make money. No one is gonna on the society that we're living on. No one is gonna be interested in buying small cabbage. So I think it's always important to start there in terms of we train them. We also make sure that we prepare according to the market that they're gonna be supplying, and also make sure that because just also have an example, some of the farmers that we've got farmers that are contracted with PepsiCo, where PepsiCo is a producer of the Zimba.
That is big. You are very humble, but I must say that collaboration is huge in that space. PepsiCo is very big. That's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah. And then we've also got some other farmers as well in Messina that they specialize more on tomato on a bigger scale. So they produce tomato supplying Road and also Tiger brands. The tomato sauce that you guys have and you buy it in all these stores. This is being supplied by the farmers from the same Messina. Not someone that is even went to school, someone who grew up in rural areas. So it's we need to have all this balance. So definitely the only way for them to track is we have to train them in terms of the market that they are targeting, and also knowing the variety, the timing as well of planting, because you also avoid a situation whereby because farming is a very, very harsh business. Very harsh business. Cynthia, they know. You can have a crop that is doing so well, and then all of a sudden, when you wake up in the morning, it's just everything, it's a disaster. Everything just decided to went south. So definitely you also need to make sure that you prepare them from that stage.
And you have incredible success stories, obviously, like Cynthia's. Are there other success stories that you could tell us about, in terms of helping small farm holders to break through the market and those services?
Yeah, look, I think we've got farmers as well that have graduated from being small farmers, semi-commercial farmers. We've got a hub that is funded by DPS as well, which is more targeting. Initially, it was they were using it as an exit strategy for the farmers, but you cannot exit on farming. The farmer cannot just exit. There is no exit strategy. Sorry, let me put it that way. There is no exit strategy for farming. So we've got a lot of farmers that have graduated from doing small crops and also doing potatoes. More than 20 hectares of production of potatoes, and also our database as well. It also shows us that we've got a lot of farmers that are doing good agricultural practice. We've got over 500 farmers that are fully trained. Of course, once the farmer is fully trained, definitely is going to transfer the skills and also make sure that is doing good management, whereby they've got you make sure that we have go through all this compliance, your SARS, local gap, global gap. And also another thing that I even mentioned to mention about the market, there is a local gap certification that we also do, of which is also one of the tool that is helping the farmers to access certain markets. So we've got farmers that we have assisted to have a local gap certification, and then so that they can access a certain market. Like take off markets and all those. So it's just quite a lot that's actually happening that we can always point it as a success for the farmers. But looking also the impact that farmers have, the recruitment that's actually happening because through these farmers. Because I think these more than 1,000 farmers that we have. Also, we've got close and more than 1,000 farm workers that are working for them.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Cynthia, as one of the major success stories, you are part of the Lima success story, and you're part of their family, and they've just done such incredible things for you, and they are continuing a part of their legacy through you as well. I just want to know if there's a young farmer out there that is thinking of breaking into the space the way that you have, or maybe there's a young person, like you were saying, that might not be exposed to agriculture, that's thinking about it, what would you say to encourage them to enter into the space and to continue to thrive in it, even with some of the challenges they may face?
For someone who's thinking about doing agriculture, I would say they should start small and start with things that are around them. Like, for example, let's say you are in Limpopo, like Blowback, it's a potato belt, right? Like, you must follow through that line so that you can be able to get assisted by other farmers around you, and also the organizations like DBSO, Department of Agriculture. Because let's say if you are doing macadamia in Blowback, like, not a lot of farmers are doing that. So obviously you won't get assisted by other farmers, or Lima, they won't be able to help you because they don't have mechanization to help you harvest macadamia and stuff like that. So I think firstly you must have knowledge about the area you are in, and then what is planted around you, the markets around you. So start with what you have and what is around you. So, and also we are in the fourth industrial revolution, so social media is a way to go. So whatever you do, that's how I get market mostly, because whatever I plant, people know from the seeds up to harvest. They already know what I have at the farm and when I'm harvesting. Already I have people who are being interested in buying my product because they saw it from a seeds up until. So social media is a way to go for young people. They must take advantage of it.
Amazing.
Because it will take you very far.
Yeah. And to anyone that's already in the agricultural space, any young farmer that's saying, I want to be like Cynthia one day, I want to be doing incredible things, but it's tough right now, what words of encouragement would you give to them?
I would say farming is a like Spa said, it can be harsh. It is very difficult. It can be a lonely journey. So never give up. You must always be hands-on, because like, you can't be a baggy farmer. If you stay in a baggy and say, oh, my crops are looking good, and then you don't go and check your crops, tomorrow you find everything is damaged, is affected by pest. So you must always be hands-on, be at the farm, work with your workers. If you want them to push hard, you must also push hard. Show them how it's done, because like, if you go shopping and you leave your workers at the farm, obviously you can't expect to find your farm at a level where you want it to be. So be a hands-on farmer and then lead your workers.
Amazing.
Never give up, because if you give up, your dream will die too.
Never give up, be hands-on, work hard. Those are the important skills. And you also spoke about empowering yourself, educating yourself. If you could add maybe, let's say, 2 more skills that are important for a young farmer to that list, other than hard work, dedication, not giving up, what other 2 skills would you add there?
I would say find a mentor.
Got it.
And never farm in isolation.
Right.
Because you can never do it alone.
Amazing.
You can't have all the implements and everything. So you need other farmers and other implementing agent or the Department of Agriculture to come and help. So you can never do it alone. Be in association with other farmers and join farming associations.
I think one of the biggest things I've taken away as well from this conversation is the importance of collaboration. You have such an incredible organization, and you are doing such incredible things for the community and young farmers as Lima. But the biggest thing is the power of collaboration. Get other stakeholders to be involved. It takes a village. It takes a village. So Cynthia, as we close it off, I want to know what you would say to thank Lima and De Beers for all they've done for you, the incredible way in which they've invested in you to change your life. What would you say to them?
I don't know. I can say a million's words. Like, I can never say thank you enough for the opportunity they've given me. Like, from a 2.5 hectares to 19 hectares. That's, most people dream about that. And then for me, from the way my farming journey started like the help they've given me and my family, because I'm not only farming there alone. I'm with my family, so we have invested a lot from our personal income, our energy, and everything. So they've elevated us to that point already. You know, we never gave up for our dreams, and then they've showed us already, you know, we can recognize your hard work and the beautiful work that you are doing to your communities and everyone around you. So not only have they helped me, because we have other young farmers that are benefiting from our project. So with their help, we're able to plant like so many things at the farm, like 6-hectare potatoes, like it's a dream. So the infrastructure that they have helped us set us for a lifetime, for a 3rd generation, 6th generation, because infrastructure is very expensive. So you can't buy, I can't farm spinach on 1 hectare and then tomorrow I buy everything. So they have set us for a lifetime.
Am I the only one that's getting emotional? The mood in the room changed, and Cynthia is just also the emotion that you are expressing. Like we can really see the gratitude that you carry, and what a life-changing experience this has been. And I must say, even for me, just sitting here listening to your story, I'm encouraged to go out there in my own space and in my own industry to do incredible things. You know, you're not just inspiring people that are in agriculture, but all spheres of life. I'm inspired. And okay, we need to get tissues. Cynthia's crying. I'm going to start crying. Spa, are you still okay over there?
I'm fine.
As we
At
close...
least I'm the only man.
You're the only man, so you're not going to cry. So as we close it off, even on your side, I just want to know from you, what encouragement would you give to communities out there that also want to thrive, and how can they, reach out to an organization like yours if they need that help and they need that boost? What would you say?
I think first of all as well, I also have to thank the opportunity as well for the exposure that we got, and also the funders, all our funders, because we are an NGO, we solo relying on them. So I think in order for us to make it possible and support and develop the people from rural areas, we are solo depending on private sectors and also the government. So I will definitely encourage anyone that is in the farming, farming, it's a good to go, it's a good business, but it also requires a lot of patience. It's not one of the business like whereby you are a tenderpreneur, you can be a millionaire out of nowhere. So it's something, it takes the process, but definitely it's always good if we've got some organization like Lima, and also thanks God I also had an opportunity to be employed by this amazing organization, because also I think they drive as well my interest as well in terms of assisting the people from rural areas. So those should be my take. But I think in terms of reaching us out, I think it's the platform like this ones, we definitely appreciate it a lot. I think that's why whenever we got this opportunity as a Lima, we felt like no, this one doesn't even deserve to be done online, because I think it's also one of the things that's also gonna give us an exposure, and then so that people can actually as well understand that Lima is an organization which is there to help people and also groom young ladies like Cynthia. And then definitely in order for us to get in touch, we are also available on Facebook. We are on website and also not on WhatsApp. But we definitely accessible, and also we are an organization that is based in Pietermaritzburg. We've got the landline, so anyone, if you can say www.liba.org.za, you're gonna have all the information, all the accounts that we have, and then you're gonna be able to be in touch in any province. But and also I also have to make a appeal that we are not implementing the whole South Africa, but we are the areas that we are definitely active on. We always make sure that we strive for the best, and also we develop those communities.
Amazing.
Hopefully, if we can get more funding, definitely we can expand.
And what are some of those areas?
We active in Limpopo. We've got some project in Limpopo. Mpumalanga as well, both agricultural projects. So I think also just to give a little bit of a background, if you give me that opportunity. Lima is not only an organization that deals with agriculture, it's also an organization that is doing some social program. One that I mentioned, the SEF, which is funded by ITC. We've got some other environmental program whereby we're also doing a deep bushing. We've got small farmer support program that we're definitely doing. And then we've got some engineering activity that we involve. And also ECTs, we're also involved in ECTs as well. And also learning unity. So we are doing a lot of projects, almost every province in South Africa, but it's only differ with the municipalities. And also it sort of depends on the funding that we're getting as well. If we get a certain fund, I say, look, we want to develop this municipality, and then it's when it's gonna be. I think, but I'm definitely sure that we are active in all provinces in South Africa. As far as also Lesotho, there are some projects that we're doing in Lesotho as well.
Okay, amazing. And Cynthia, we know where to find Lima on social media. Where can we find you? You've spoken a lot about social media, and that's how you are growing your business and really putting your brand out there. Where can people find you?
On Facebook, Matomi Potatoes Farmer. I'm also on TikTok. I just opened TikTok like this year.
Exciting.
So it's already growing. I'm Matomi Potato Farm Girl on TikTok also. So Facebook and TikTok and WhatsApp. So that's where you will find me.
And do you have any closing remarks, Mr. Spa, before we go?
No, I think my closing remarks will be again, thanking the funders and also TPS for also giving us this opportunity to work with amazing farmers in Joburg and Messina. We are very, very grateful for that. And also, I'm also appealing to you and hoping that you're also going to invite TPS as well on this platform. And then so also they can share in terms of what the contribution that they've done in those areas. Because I also believe that, and also have got a view that some other people don't actually show, that Lima is also being active in Joburg and Messina because of TPS, and also the project that we're doing, and also the contribution that they've made. So I think it's also, if also one, they can also be given that opportunity, I think it's something that can also help. And
well, it is official, De Beers. You heard it here first. We want to have more Cynthias out there, and we hope to have you on our show very, very soon to see how we can support other incredible farmers out there and have more success stories as we build the space of agriculture. Spa, Cynthia, thank you so much for joining me. This was absolutely incredible. I hope you both enjoyed this conversation, and we hope to see you soon as we continue to grow our agricultural space, but also developing our communities, in different spaces. So thank you very much.
Then it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us again today as we were having an incredible conversation to empower the space of agriculture and having very important conversations to say, let's change the way that we see farming and the way that we see the space of agriculture. Remember to follow us on our social media pages and subscribe to our channel, Young Farmer, as we continue to have impactful conversations.